It's recording.
Sounds good. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the first triage meeting. So this is our first time doing it. Our goal is to go through as many issues as we can on the upstream GitHub. I have a process documented in the Metal3 community meetings notes. If we feel like this isn't working for us, we can always adjust, but the goal is to eventually formalize this maybe on the website or the Metal3 docs repo. But this is kind of adapted from a process that's listed on the Kubernetes website. So the goal here is to go through each issue, determine if it's still relevant. If it's not, we can just go ahead and close it. If it is, we should try to determine the kind, see if it's a bug, a feature, etc. Make a best guess at priority. If we think this is somewhat serious, then we should mark it that way. If we need more information, either from the reporter or possibly a developer, obviously everyone present is not an expert in all of the different components of Metal3, so we should go ahead and ask for help. And then it would be nice to mark some trivial issues as a good first issue for new developers coming to the project to work on. So if you look in the Metal3 community meetings repo, there's a link to a GitHub issues search. So if you go ahead and click that, you can follow along, or you can just watch my screen. You need to be logged in. If you click on this link and you are not logged in, then I think GitHub gives you kind of some kind of obscure error that doesn't tell you what's going on. So let's go ahead and get started. There's 48 issues. I don't know if we'll make it through all of them today, but let's go ahead and try to do that. So the first issue, before we do that, does anyone have any questions or anything they'd like to bring up? Okay, cool. Let's get started. Feel free to interrupt me on chat or with audio if you want to jump in and say something. Right, so the first issue, it would be great to have health checks compatible with Kubernetes. This is in the Ironic image repo. Looks like Kubernetes has a way to have a liveness probe on a container to make sure everything's working. This sounds like it is probably kind. It's probably a feature. And priority, waiting more evidence, backlog, important soon. It sounds like, based on this comment from Ben, OSP is using podman execs for health checks and resulting memory leaks. So it sounds like maybe something we don't want to tackle right away, although that was back in May. I think we're going to just mark this as a backlog item. Sure. Unless anyone has any specific opinion about this. It would be good to have these liveness probes, but I don't know that it's super high priority right now. Okay. Let's go back to the search query. The next one is Ironic is listening on all interfaces, not only my IP. So in the Ironic container, we give it information about a provisioning interface as well as some IP info. But the thing is that when you look at netstat, Ironic is actually listening on every IP. I think this is probably somewhat concerning, given that we're using Ironic in no-auth mode. We probably want to restrict this more. So my opinion on this is that it's a bug. Since we do specify my IP, it doesn't actually seem to be enough. So this is probably a bug. And given the security implications, I would probably say that this is important soon. I don't know that it's critical urgent.
Yeah, so hi Stephen, I joined a bit late, sorry about that. But around the time when I raised this, I actually pushed a PR which locked this down to just using the provisioning interface, and it broke some things which we were expecting to talk on the wrong IP. So I think we probably just need to go back and kind of validate whether it's going to break anything. But yeah, I agree, it's definitely something we should fix.
Yeah. Okay, so you're saying that some things broke when you locked down Ironic to only listen on the my IP or the provisioning interface?
Yes, something was talking to the external IP instead of the provisioning IP. I can't remember exactly what, but we probably just need to just retest and confirm whether that's still an issue or not.
Sure. Let me leave a comment on here saying that. So kind bug party importance sued. Let's go back to the issues list. The third one, this is for static IP manager. It says set up Travis CI for image build testing. If you're not familiar, static IP manager basically manages a single IP on the provisioning interface. Let me check. We haven't implemented any Travis testing on this, have we? No, so there's no testing in this repo at all. I don't seem to have the ability to set labels on this. Okay. Does this even have labels? Yeah. What would you say the kind of this is for something related to testing? Doesn't seem like we have anything that categorizes that. Feature? It's not really a feature. Maybe we just change the priority if I can do that.
We
Sorry,
need kind CI, probably.
is there a kind CI?
Well, no, but we could probably add one.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I don't have rights to this repo to even create a label. Maybe we leave this. Maybe we leave this for next triage, and this is an action item. All right, but I'll take care of that offline. We'll have to add some kind of label for testing and CI related. I also have to see what Kubernetes does for those kinds of things. But I think this is probably something common that will have issues filed against things that are related to CI or testing. It's probably be good to categorize those. So we'll skip that one for now. The next one says, every container runs configure ironic, required inputs unclear. This is on the ironic image. The container are split up now, but I'm not sure which configuration points to which containers. I'm configuring them all for now. So in the ironic image, we have this script that does configure ironic. Ironic.
It's just like a documentation issue, do you think? Perhaps.
Yeah, but it does look like there's some documentation out in the README about the following environment variables can be passed. This probably needs updating though, since we refactored a bunch of things for IPv6 support. So kind documentation. Kind of curious if these priority tags are actually going to be useful for us, but we can at least try it for now. My guess is this is probably backlog. And documentations may be something that's useful for a first comer who wants to try to help us. So I want to mark this as a good first issue, unless someone disagrees. Okay, let's go back to list. So the next one is add tests for parser. This is on the Metal3 Smart Exporter. What is the Metal3 Smart Exporter? I have never done anything in this repo. The README is great. Steve, do you know what this is for by any chance?
No, I don't. It doesn't look like it's been touched in a while. Is it to do with the continuous introspection work that was going on?
Oh, yeah, it could be. But this is another one related to testing, so I think we need some kind of label for that. So I'll defer this to until we have that. We probably also need to have an issue that says, please update the README with some more information. Well, this might not be set up for.
I don't think Pro is working on that repository.
Okay. All right, let's come back to this later. Let's go to the next one. Metal3 Exporter. Exporter doesn't seem to handle certain hardware configurations. We need Prow working to triage this, so we'll skip the exporters for this run. Metal3 Dev validate the deployment. Adding a validation script will help catch issues specifically in the CI.
Yeah, that was mine, and it's pretty old one. I guess we just should close it.
You don't think it's relevant anymore?
Well, not really, no.
Okay. Do we handle this, and do we do some validation in CI now, don't we? Of the clusters working?
Yeah, on V1 Alpha 1, it's done and in place. It's the V1. We're still working on the V1 Alpha 2, but it's a separate issue, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will close this. Okay. Right, next one. Provide a solution for control plane load balancing. This issue is related to 101.
That was mine too. Well, there was no definite solution made on this. We still need at some point to add kind of like metal cube load balancing solution.
Mm-hmm.
But it's let's just maybe put it in the backlog.
Okay.
And for the priority, like.
Oh, sorry, you're right.
Yeah.
Let me. Priority backlog. Is Prow enabled on Cluster API?
Well, Pro is definitely there.
Is it missing the labels, maybe?
I can have a look. Like, you can keep going. I'll try to figure out what's going on.
It has labels. Yeah, let me leave a note in the doc. All right, so let's go to the next one. Project info, set up RBAC so all Metal3 IO members can view test pods. Right now, only a small group has access to the CI cluster itself. It would be nice to allow access to anyone in Metal3 IO GitHub board, at least with read-only access to the test pods namespace to view the pods for test jobs. Yeah. So this would also be a testing kind. So I'll defer that till we have a label for it. Next one, replace Travis CI usage with crowd jobs. That would also be a testing one. So we'll defer that one. Cluster API provided by Metal. Leader election ID should be unique.
So I have a PR for this one, but it needs to be updated because it didn't work.
Okay. I can't set any labels on. Let's try it. This is. Would you say this is a bug?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
But is this still valid?
It looks like there's a PR to fix it. It just hasn't been handled yet.
Ah, it's for V1 Alpha 1. Okay, sorry, my bad.
Yeah, I don't know what a cluster API provided by Metal. The Prow stuff's not working.
Yeah.
All right. Metal 3 docs. Try it out results in bare metal host with inspecting indefinitely. When I tried out the try it out, I was presented with the following. The make command is running. This looks like a user support issue. This hasn't been updated since October. I'd be inclined to just close this and ask them to reopen it if they intend to address it.
Agreed.
Okay.
Well, hold on. There's a solution in here. And Doug said, can we just get the script to...
Yeah, I saw that. And they asked this person for a PR that never happened. And
Yeah.
no one else has come by with any Do you think it should stay open, Zane?
I mean, it looks like it might. It should be a fairly easy PR if someone wants to pick it up.
All right. Even still, it's against the wrong repo since this is against the docs.
Yeah, true.
Let me move this over to. This would go in Metal3 dev env, I guess.
Yes.
Okay. So what is the underlying issue here?
I have no idea. Doug's got my tell.
NBP. Oh, I can verify with Wireshark the master worker VM's Pixie DCP request is seen in the bridge in the host. I was able to fix it by using. It's not clear why this doesn't affect all systems. What is this Bugzilla bug? Settings not read when modules loaded. I mean, there's been no other reports of this by anyone, and this has been open since October.
Yeah, and since then the Metal3 Dev has evolved quite a bit, I think.
Yeah, I'm inclined to just close this and ask them to refile and issue a PR against Metal3 Dev.
Okay, fair enough.
Next one is against bare metal operator. Deploy fail state is missing an ironic state machine. Currently deploy fail is not handled in the event of deprovisioning. Besides, we have to set target as managed, not deleted to handle clean fail state. This is also another issue here. Oh, there's a PR for this. Do you know if this is still relevant, Zane? I know you did a bunch of work on the state machine in the bare metal operator.
Yeah, I think so. I think this is a little below that. I think this is the ironic state machine.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So yeah, I think it's still valid.
All right.
But I'm looking at the PI comments, and Dimitri had issues that still need addressing, but it hasn't been updated.
Okay.
Ages since October.
So this is label conduct. And I won't specify a priority since there's already a Prow seems not to be consistently working with labels. It's really strange. It only seemed to, I wonder if there's some setting that needs to be turned on.
It looks like it was working for Metal3 Dev, but not bare metal operator or CapBM.
Yeah. I can set that one manually. Okay. Next one, upgrade OpenShift cluster to 4.2. Oh, I think this is for the CI cluster. CI cluster is currently running a nightly pre-release. Once 4.2 is, oh, 4.2 has been released for a while. And Russell. If that's still relevant, we'll need the new CI or testing label. All right. Project infra, determine Prow upgrade strategy. I think this is also a CI related thing. I'll leave that until we have a label for it. Next one, Metal3 dev end. Existing cube config makes install fail. Oh, this was from me. I had cube config set from a previous deployment. OpenShift Metal3, the workaround was just unset cube config and run again. Yeah, I think this is still the case.
Maybe that's a good first issue.
Yeah, good idea. It's a bug. First issue. Do you agree with backlog?
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. All right, let's go next one. Metal3 dev end update to Python 3.
Well, as far as I can say, it's still work in progress. This because the CentOS, some of the CentOS installation steps are still with Python 2, including like the Ansible and some of the modules, I think.
I think we'd have to drop CentOS 7 support, right, to do this? Or can you can get Python 3 and CentOS 7?
Yeah, we like Ferus is right now working on something like this because it's hitting some compatibility issues in the Ansible module. So yeah, it's definitely active, like something being done right now.
Okay.
But the CentOS 8, like because we were looking also into like dropping CentOS 7 to go to CentOS 8, but there's no cloud image for it already available.
Right. I remember that. What would you mark this as? Cleanup, maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think there's a good category for this one.
Well, maybe we can still put it as a bug because what we're hitting now is like it's basically not really working with the Python to Python 3 kind of.
Okay. And when is the Python 2 end of life? You think this is important soon?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was last month.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So, yeah, probably somewhat important to deal with that. Although I think CentOS will probably continue to support it for whatever its lifespan is.
Should create a new issue for moving to CentOS 8 also. Or at least on the TI side.
What's that?
Well, so that we start using CentOS 8 instead of CentOS 7 as the image for the Metal3 event.
Okay. But we're missing a... okay. So you want an issue to move to CentOS 8 images?
Yeah, I guess that we can put one at least for tracking.
Where are we using CentOS 7 now for?
Well, for Metal3 dev itself, on at least on the CI and on the the scripts are running for. Yeah.
I'll just leave this as so we can track it. Labels.
Maybe priority long term on this.
Feature? Bug? Maybe this doesn't have a good one.
Well, it already has a label, right? So we can.
Yeah, we can just leave it like this. Okay. The next one, bare metal operator fails to register hosts that have been discovered by Ironic. I've been trying to add bare metal host worker node to a clustering. Ironic inspector is failing and node is stuck in the inspecting state. The problem here is that Ironic registers a host as part of discovery, but then the operator also tries to register it. We should look for an existing host in this. Oh, I see. So this is the case where I think a bare metal host gets powered on, discovered by Ironic, before the bare metal host is created.
Yeah, which is something we've not really tried to support, like discovery and Ironic yet. It's kind of on the long-term roadmap.
Yeah.
But I guess, I mean, it shouldn't fail just because you had the machine powered on when you started, so.
Right, because this is some kind of race condition, right? The bare metal host gets powered on and gets discovered by Ironic, and this happens maybe shortly before the user creates the bare metal host resource, right?
Yeah, I'm not actually sure. Like,
okay.
I don't know why it ends up blocking registration, but so yeah, arguably it's a bug, arguably it's a missing.
And probably something we should deal with long term. Okay. Metal3 IO add. Metal3, so this is just adding a, yeah.
Yeah, adding some content to the website.
Right. No one's done this yet, right?
No, not yet.
Okay. Well, what kind of documentation? I don't even know if Prow is going to work on this. Let me just ping people. It's been like 6 months, so. If no one's going to do it, I don't think this issue. Metal3 dev end. Installation fails if an older version of kubectl exists previously. An installer in dev environment sent us 7 latest. It already has kubectl installed version 1.5. kubectl won't be updated to latest version, which is causing. I think this is a bug. We should probably need some kind of check in the dev end whether kubectl needs updating. Would you agree this is a bug?
Yes.
And I'll put it on the backlog. This is probably a good first issue. It's probably not too difficult to check the version of kubectl that's installed.
Yeah. We should, for this, like to really solve this, we should define some minimum like requirement version.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe like I can write a comment on that we need to do this.
All right, let's go to the next one. Metal3 Helm chart. I did not even know that we had a Helm chart. Based on, there's other steps to do, and probably new. Updated 19 days ago. Oh. This is probably. Yeah, it's not working here either. Okay. Bare metal operator end-to-end testing failing. When I test end-to-end test, I'm getting the following error. Looks like Steve asked for more information in December, and there's not been any update. I'm gonna close this. Cool. All right. Bare metal operator only reconciles one host at a time. I think Kieran has a PR open for this.
Yeah.
And, probably a feature, maybe? I don't know. I don't think it's a bug. I'm not sure that it matters all that much since it's a PR that's open. I'm going to mark it as a feature, unless someone thinks else otherwise. And I'll leave off a priority since it's already actively being worked on. All right, let's go to the next one. Metal3 bare metal operator host hardware details should include GPU and graphics cards. This is a feature, I think. And I'm going to put that on the backlog. All right. So where were we? Okay, no terminal. Home chart. All right. Next one is C cluster API. Label a machine based on host. I don't think I can mark any labels on this anyway. Let's just defer these till we have prow working for cat VM. All right. Metal3 IO bare metal operator. Inspection never starts if host is already running.
I wonder if this is a duplicate of the one we just looked at with the discovery.
I'm not sure it's a duplicate, right? Because the discovery thing would require a host to have been powered on, like at a specific. It seems related, but I don't know if it's duplicate. I think this is like, if the host is already on and not even booted into the ironic image, we won't like turn it off, right? I think it's slightly different.
Well, I mean, we haven't been able to replicate this, so I'm wondering if maybe something like that did actually happen.
Oh, have we tried to replicate this and haven't been able to reproduce it?
Yeah, that's what the comment at the bottom says.
Where do you see that? Oh, I'm not able to replicate this.
I can ask Canva is actually in my team, so I can ask him to like update this.
Okay. Isn't there like a need more information?
Isn't it actually backlog, or
It doesn't have any label at the moment.
but the backlog one I think is the one that is for awaiting more evidence.
Okay. It might be good to include awaiting more evidence issues in the triage search query. So we come back to these. Just so they don't stay there waiting forever. So I'll mark that waiting more evidence. And you said you were going to ask Kanwar about this issue. Okay.
Yes.
Sounds good. What was I? Okay. Local image testing doesn't work with Docker. The local image support we added only works with Podman. Docker push doesn't support the same options. Sorry.
I just fixed that in the PR2 like Monday. So this is closed, like it's fixed.
Do you know what the?
It's the create Docker etc folder before moving them under JSON,
Okay.
or the one. No, actually, this was the second one that fixed the bug introduced by the actual one. But basically, it's configure and secure registry for Docker. That was the one.
Great, thanks. Close this, close this. All right. Next one, Metal3 devenv. After configuring the Metal3 networks, Minikube cannot access k8.gcr.io. When building Metal3 on CentOS 7, the following image is displayed on the second side. By commenting out the invocation of init Minikube, it seems to work now.
Yeah, the question is, would that be before because we did some work on this double call of the Minikube, and I don't know if the issue came before or after that.
Yeah, although someone just commented 6 days ago, and they used this workaround.
Oh yeah, true. So it's probably still valid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it will occur to me today.
Yeah, I haven't had any issues with this, but there might be some kind of case here with networking that something liver networking may be getting screwed up somewhere. Also, deployment is configured as image pull policy since we already downloaded anyway. We call init Minikube twice because we do some networking stuff, right?
It was mostly so that we have this preparation script that will just initialize the Minikube in this 0.1 because that was used in the CI to be more efficient.
Oh, okay.
Preloading in the image. It's normally the function init Minikube has some kind of checks on the interfaces, and it won't do twice the same job. But it probably is bugged somewhere if they are hitting that issue.
I'll mark this as a bug. I'll put it on the backlog. I don't think unless we start seeing a lot of people with this issue. My guess is it's something environmental, but all right. Let's go to the next one. CAPI CAPIM, we'll defer those till we have labels working on those. Bare metal operator, expected hardware configuration validation. As an infrastructure provider, we'd like to validate expected hardware configuration for a given bare metal host. The default minimum.
So this is a feature. There's a spec open for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll mark it as a feature. And if there is already a PR, then I won't set a priority.
There's no PR for the implementation, but there's a PR.
Oh, it's just the spec. Okay. Cannot run open API code generation for CRD with operator SDK 12.
I think we fixed this one. Like there was just a problem of. Well, I don't recall exactly what the problem was, but we talked about it on Slack, and then, if I recall correctly, it was fixed. We can ask him for confirmation.
Looks like someone asked a question in December without any response. I'm inclined to just close this and have them reopen it if it's still an issue.
So one thing I discovered is that Operator SDK 0.12 requires Golang 1.13, which means you need a very recent distro, like Fedora 31, and I don't even think it's in Ubuntu at all yet.
Okay.
But I mean, it's not at all obvious that it just flat out doesn't work with Golang 1.12, but apparently it does.
So do you think this is something that we should still keep open? This is something we have to fix.
It'd be worth asking if it ever got resolved.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I will mark this awaiting more evidence, and we can review it Next triage. Well, I think there's also a question label, right? Or is that more from, that's not a, is that a Kubernetes one, or is that one of the ones that GitHub creates by default? I'll just mark it avoiding more evidence. So we'll come back to that. Next triage. Okay. Metal3 devenv, IPv6 provisioning doesn't work on CentOS. Oh, yeah. Right, so the CentOS 7 cloud images only do BIOS, and there's no CentOS 8 cloud images yet, right? So there's nothing here.
Yeah, so this is really kind of a placeholder. I was thinking that in all likelihood we would eventually drop support for CentOS 7 and move to CentOS 8. And so, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, support. 8.1.
It looks like there's cloud images now.
Great. So yeah, I guess we can retest this and add support for IPv6 testing via CentOS 8, and eventually look to switch to CentOS 8 instead of CentOS 7. I think there's a number of things which don't work as easily on CentOS 7, so eventually it would be nice to switch over to the newer version.
Right. So I think we just filed an issue for moving to CentOS 8. So do you think we could close this and mark it as a duplicate of this? Or do you think it's separate, it needs to be tested separately?
I mean, it was really just a question of validating that IPv6 provisioning works, and that the bits we need to enable that are in the CentOS 8 images. It may be worth just leaving it open just as a test only item. There is already a pull request up which I started and Yolanda helped with, which was aiming to rework the way that Rel 8 and CentOS 8 environments are set up. So there's already a pull request to enable CentOS 8. It probably just needs some more testing. I've only tested it on Rel 8, and I think Yolanda's only tested it on CentOS 8. So if anyone feels like having a look at that, we can probably move the support forward.
I'm just going to mark this as a bug. I think IPv6 not working on CentOS probably best fits as a bug. Or do you think it's a feature? I don't think it matters a whole lot.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's a bug, and we can potentially fix it by deprecating CentOS 7 support and just saying we use CentOS 8.
Okay. I'll mark this as important soon. I think we need to get away from CentOS 7 so we can make sure we have IPv6 and things like that working. All right, close this. All right, let's go back to the queue. Bare metal operator, change the user data secret reference in bare metal host. Didn't I see a PR related to this recently? Maybe I'm mistaken. Currently, the user data secret is referenced by its name as a string in the bimage spec. This implies a secret is in the same namespace. With recent changes in CAP AV, P1 Alpha 3, the user data comes in. Am I using, that's an issue. Am I mistaken that there wasn't an issue related to this recently? Or a pull request related to this?
I don't think there was. There has been a lot of discussion on another thing that is for the user data, but that was unrelated.
Okay. Would you mark this as a bug then?
Well, it's not a bug because it's working, right? But we should definitely have that fixed.
Clean up, maybe?
Yeah. I would put it in important soon, maybe.
Or when we move to, okay.
Because it comes with V1 Alpha 3, and that is some work we're going to start very soon.
Okay. Sounds good. Right. The next one, CAP EVM, we'll skip that for now. We'll deal with those next time. HTTP doesn't redirect to HTTPS.
I just tried and I think this is fixed.
Yep. Cool. Campy BM, Metal3 dev end. IPMI call failed power status on CentOS Linux release. Looks like VBMC is listening on everything. Is that the issue here? This may be a bug. We probably need to take a look at it. That listen on makes me wonder if it's an issue with IPv6 being enabled on the host. But my provisioning host, I think, has IPv6 enabled, so I don't know. This probably just needs some investigation. I'm going to mark it as a bug for now, unless someone has any other opinion about this one. All right. And put it in the backlog for now. And the last one, bare metal operator. Bare metal host stuck in inspecting phase and it's using both IPMI and iDRAC. Make this easier to read. So it looks like their hosts are staying stuck in inspection. I have one to. We probably need more information from them. I hope this is not like their actual password that they've revealed to us. Let me ping the ironic folks and see if they have. It might also be a good idea for them to look at the I'm going to mark this awaiting more evidence, and we can come back to it. All right. I think that was the, oh, there's a second page. Where did we leave off?
The operator SDK maybe?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think we're probably just about out of time anyway. Let's take a look at this one and then we'll finish the rest next time.
Yeah,
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, there's a PR, so it's gonna get merged soon.
Okay.
It just needs an LGTM. If anybody wants to go, put one there.
Is this a trivial change? Oh. Looks reasonable to me. I'll take a look at it after the triage. We're just about out of time, so call that a day. I think that was pretty productive. I think there's probably only a dozen issues left or so. I'll take a look at cluster API, provider bare metal, and some of the other repos to figure out why Prow's not working. We might have to turn that on. There's a few other action items for us to take a look at.
Yeah, we could also look if we add a label in the project infra, like there's a definition, a list of labels that Prow syncs with GitHub. Maybe we could add one there for the CI.
Yeah, so that's one of the action items here. Need a kind label for testing CI related issues. So I think we need to have a PR against project infra and then have someone who's an owner rerun that sync script. I can open a PR to do that. So I'll take that one. Probably need to ask Russell about these two. This is really the same issue here. And we can do this right now. Well, I'll do this offline, but next triage, I want to make sure that we reevaluate the waiting more evidence issues so they don't stay there forever. All right, so we're about out of time. Thanks for everyone who came. I think that was pretty productive. We're down to 24. 24. Yeah, so we triaged exactly half. So I think that's pretty good. We'll continue again in 2 weeks. And if you have any suggestions about the process, if you think there's something we should do differently, feel free to let me know. We can start a thread on the mailing list, or we can talk about it next triage meeting. But that's about it. Thanks for coming.
Thank you. Bye.
Yep, bye.